Item 16, discuss and if necessary take action to ratify the termination of contracts for Source One Plano and North Plano therapy location.
Yeah. Let me use this to kind of broaden our discussion about, I guess, our I-35 involvement we spent a lot of time since our last meeting taking a look at where we are with our I-35 partnership. And one of the things which has allowed us to do this is at the end of last month, we were completely caught up with all of our charge entries, so we knew where we stood exactly. So for the month of April, we were able to really analyze by individual facility, by individual location, where we were making money or not making money, and if we weren't making money, why are we not making money, and where we were year to date. And I'll tell you, at the end of April, we were in the red 111,000 for all facilities, including the pain center. But for the pain center itself, we made 330,000, I believe it was. So had a very, very good month on the pain center. And the reason for that is we went to I-35 and said, well, let's look at the contract that we've got and how the dollars are being spent, for our management fee, and particularly for what we call a quality bonus. There's a bonus provision in there at certain levels. And we went back to them, and Michael and Becky did a lot of financial work on this, and we said, hey, it's not working at the current arrangement. Part of that is because our case mix is different in this market than it is here. So when we did our original pro formas, we thought we'd have a whole lot more Blue Cross than we do. We got a lot more Aetna, just as an example. So we went back to them and said, okay, we've got to take a look at this. So they made a significant adjustment in the bonus provision for the Addison Pain Center, and which took us from a loss position to a profit position. A significant drop the bonus provision by over 10%. So okay, we think we've got that resolved. Then let's go back. Let's look at our therapy side of it, and let's look at the therapy locations that are making money for us and those that are not. And we had already identified one of the locations which was not making money, which was actually losing money, and we had already made the decision to cancel that contract. And they were with a group, and we went back and looked at it and said, okay, the two locations in Plano are not making money for us with the current financial arrangement. So we talked with the I-35 people, and we said, okay, it's not making money. It's not making money for us. It's really not doing well for y'all. So we're no longer going to do that. So we want to cancel that contract. So that would be 3 of the, I guess, least productive contracts that with your ratification that we will have canceled to get it to a better financial picture. We've got 3 in McKinney, Frisco, and Allen that are doing very well for us. We got a couple. We got Weatherford and Aledo that's doing well for us. They're new, relatively well. But the real problem there was when you looked at the bonus structure in the contract, we would be in a profit position until we paid some of the bonuses. And the bonuses would put us in a loss position from the contract. So we went back to I-35 and said, hey, we've got to look at this. And they have agreed on that if the hospital, GRMC, is not making money on that particular location, no bonus will be paid. And then the other one we had there's like the three in McKinney are a group. We had treated them as a group rather than individually. We said, no, let's go back and let's structure the bonus provision by location so that if you've got one location that's doing really, really well, it doesn't necessarily make up for the one that's losing money. Everybody's going to be looked at by their own. So we've gone back, we've got those amendments that they're willing to make to the contract. We'll talk about that, I guess, on the next agenda item. But what we're asking for here is for you agree and ratify us to cancel the contract on North Plano and Plano locations. And Ron's been involved in all of our discussions with I-35, and I will give I-35 credit. They've been very, very supportive of us in terms of coming up with an agreement that makes sense, because they prepared the pro formas. They based those on a case mix similar to ours, you know, a whole lot of Blue Cross and not very much other. And in that market up in the, you know, in the Metroplex, it's completely different case mix, which means some of the insurance companies are not paying us what we anticipated. So they've been receptive. We think with well, I can assure you that after this month we'll be, you know, because we've already seen the numbers through the 29th. So with this month we'll be in a very positive position, which makes sense from a big picture to go forward. And then with the elimination of the other two, you know, very low performers, or one of them is a losing performer, we'll be even better shape. But the big difference is in the structuring of the bonus provisions. We don't make money, we don't pay a bonus, just like that. So it's been, I guess, probably since our last board meeting, it's probably been the number one item that we've looked at in terms of trying to improve our position. We've gone back to Kevin Reed a couple of times to make sure that we are, from a compliance standpoint, that we're doing the things that we need to do to make sure that we are compliant with the insurance payers, Blue Cross and Aetna, Cigna, and all of them. We've gone back and we've kind of taken another look at that. Really tried to go back. Once we got the final numbers, we knew where we were. Said, okay, now it's time for us to focus on sort of, I guess, fine-tuning the operation, and that's what this is all about. So that's where we are. We talked this afternoon. We've had the discussion. Should we continue or should we not? And we think with these changes, it makes a lot of sense. It'll do well for us financially now. You know, and we, you know, certainly our recommendation is to continue with it, but that we take a much tougher look at it from a financial perspective, which we're asking you to help us do. Try to answer your question.
What happens to these places if we decide to terminate the contract?
They'll go back to what they were before, the freestanding facility.
Did you try to renegotiate with them?
No, you have issues. You have issues with renegotiating a contract because of the Stark issues. It's a one-year contract with a 30-day termination, which we insisted that be in there. So really, the only way that we can renegotiate is to cancel the contract, and at some other point in time, come back and ask if they want to renegotiate the management fee or renegotiate the lease fee.
The main thing is, as I recall, on these two locations was the pay ordinance.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So,
In other words, what we went into this in I-35 was calculating that X number of percent was going to be Blue Cross, X number of percent is going to be United Healthcare, et cetera, et cetera. And then it turns out, for whatever reason, and I think we discussed it, they talked about some major employers in the area maybe don't have Blue Cross, they have United
Cigna.
Healthcare, they have something else, or Cigna.
signals, I think,
Yeah,
were
or
the
whatever.
big ones.
And so what their contracts were paying were not what was expected. And so therefore, the performance of these facilities is not going to be what was expected, and you can't change that because you've got to accept whatever insurance is being presented, and it was making sense.
Because our Cigna contract for our reimbursement is kind of pretty low. It doesn't really affect us here because we don't get a lot of them in this area, so it didn't matter. So that was never a priority of, oh, we need to go renegotiate this contract. Go to these up there, and when you're getting paid $200 less than what you would if they had Blue Cross, it's a huge difference, and it's a huge hit when you have that many who are Cigna versus other payer mixes. I mean, it was a big difference, and they didn't realize it. We didn't realize it.
It's kind of trial and error. We, to see what happened. And it was just payroll mix was not going to work. So that's the reason we went ahead calling a special, meeting, get y'all in here, we went ahead and did a termination notice, we just asked that the board ratify our notice of termination 30 days so we get out the deal, we don't take any more loss on that.
We did that so that we could get a termination letter to them before the end of the month. So next month will be our last month with these two facilities.
I'll make a motion to ratify the contract termination between Source One Plano and North Plano Therapy Location.
Okay,